young man.
Gen Z, yeah?
Yeah, he started by telling us about the jurisdiction, and even though I knew this, we just let him talk, and I'm glad we did, because he turned out to be very, very... Our attitude about race, he shares, he's 24, shares the same views. He likes a good dark joke. Quite an interesting chap. He grew up in one of these notorious areas in Dagenham.
Yeah.
But he just, I think the upbringing from his nan, he didn't go down that road.
Or message that shooting has started.
Yeah, I just need to send this individual a message and tell him that shooting has started.
I'll get set up.
He's
and
quite
then,
a cool, and 24 hours. Very interesting individual.
Well, I'm finding a lot of the younger people I speak to, some of them are really smart.
Yeah, we've been blessed that we've come across what I would say common sense Gen Z, and as long as they continue, I think the future will be good for the country.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's their future.
They're the ones on the planet.
They're going to be the ones on the planet. Long after we're gone, it will be their planet. So, excuse the pun, so they need to plan it the way they want their planet to be. They need to plan it the way they want their planet to be. Just need to send this message.
Send this, I'll get set up now.
Okay.
Walking with gun.
And the Bible and the sword.
I guarantee the person who signed off on that contract isn't eating it either.
Yes.
That's what we like to say. Oh, Charles and Roger, we like to say the British have been, as you've seen, to Bombay but not yet to Rim. They've conquered the natives abroad with Bible, the gun and the sword.
You can't believe it. Yes.
We'll put that ditty up. Yes. So no, everything.
So I was just saying, a lot of people around me that I work with need a coffee to wake up and function.
Yeah,
If
they
they
don't.
don't,
Tell
they
them-
look like zombies.
Yeah, it's
Do you
not
both drink
waking
coffee?
them.
How do you?
No, coffee I use
don't
as an
drink.
enema. It's an enema. Colonic. If you're doing a colonic scrub, it's very, very good.
Good.
Coffee is a digestive.
Look at the size of the cup traditionally.
After a heavy meal, you have coffee. And it's very, very good. It's very good for digestion. It's got a lot of, but the way it's being used, it's not a pick-me-up. Abuse, slap. No, that's not. Because all they're doing is that they're overstimulating the adrenals.
Yeah.
They're overstimulating the adrenals. And I know there's a lot of people.
A friend of mine, he's saying he had like 2 cups of coffee and 2 free Monster cans in
Yeah.
Monster.
the day, and I thought, you mad man? Are you?
No.
Do you need that much to just?
They're plenty.
awake
Send them up
and-
here.
Remember,
We can discuss
okay,
it.
to remember what happens. You see with exercise, the stronger you get, your threshold increases.
Yeah.
You can increase more weights. Running,
Yeah.
you can run further. Yeah, less
Drink,
time
you can
to
drink more.
That's what
You need
happens.
more to get you drunk. That's all that's happening.
happening.
They call it tolerance
Tolerance.
levels. Madness. All they're doing, they're overstraining and they're causing an imbalance. And there'll be a price to pay.
Yeah.
And then what they're going to do? Sue the coffee places? You should have told us.
Few monster drink.
Well, the coffee bean apparently is, on the verge of going extinct at the rate that the global, climate is going. And imagine all those people without their coffee.
They'll find something else.
some way.
They'll make a synthetic one.
Synthetic coffee
After
bean.
all the fruit, you think of all the fruit flavors.
Exactly.
You seen the vape?
The purees.
Yeah, the vape. What is that flavored with? They'll find something. Says exactly.
Chocolate, the cacao, that's going extinct. So chocolate has already been synthetic. A company in Israel, they're planning to change the recipe in Cadbury's and
Cadbury's went down years ago.
Went
going
down
to,
years ago.
make they have labs of synthetic
Yeah,
chocolate.
good luck to them. Good luck. And then they're complaining with all, and then you put these things in the body, and then there's the after effect, and then everyone's complaining. It's a choice. So to answer that question of yours, this is what people want. It wouldn't be here if people didn't want it. Just like the cocaine in the body,
You know
there's
what we
enough.
say about cocaine? Which part of the body likes cocaine?
And we said this before.
Does the liver want it? Kidneys? Does the heart want it? Lungs? Spleen?
The bloodstream doesn't want it.
So how does it get into the body?
The feet,
Where, between the feet,
they
the
meet
eyes,
the dealer. The hands do the exchange.
the eyes are involved.
The
The nose
helps
helps
you, yeah,
and
voila.
in it goes in, and the rest of the body suffers.
And then once it's in there, the heart has to do the work whether it likes
That's
it or
how
not.
I'm mad at you when people say I didn't vote for government X.
There's enough people
There's
want
enough.
this thing,
They may be small minority, yeah.
but there's enough who want it.
Feet, hands, brain, nose, tongue. Yeah.
I know a few people in my, around around my circles who have been so addicted to it, they've lost their teeth, and they're my age. You know, they've got no teeth. So
Well, it's
To
not
coffee or the snow?
the snow.
Well, it's not a beauty
And,
enhancer.
their nose is always running, because they've
That's-
lost the
Well,
membrane.
the-
Mind you, many years ago, we knew a set of public school chaps who they went to Westminster Public School, and they went to Colombia.
Yeah.
They
And they
said
said-
what you got out there is so different. In fact, when they came back, they stopped taking anything here for 6 months because there's
Stuff in Colombia is
we-
purer
absolutely much better.
because they have the cocoa leaf. And
They were
that-
getting.
that if
It's
you
almost
chew
like
on it-
going to the Caribbean and eating proper pineapples. Or
Whatever can be said
said.
about these herbalist importers, that's not what they ship. What is bought on the street is not what's been imported. You may blame them for bringing it to the country, but what's being distributed out on the street, that's
not
people
fair.
wanting to make money. That's people
But
want
for
to
6
do.
months, they never touched anything.
So it goes back to it. Is it greed, or is it the people's desire that keeps this thing going?
Just
Keep this thing
desire.
going on the
Desire.
street is desire.
That's why they're
Desire.
able to bypass customs
Customs.
and all the things set up.
And the universe works like this: as we think and imagine,
Imagine.
so
It is.
and
And that's a big example of the law of attraction.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
It's the
you
law of
fear
attraction.
something, it will happen.
Yeah.
Often, what's that saying thing? You experience what you mostly feel. Or
Yeah.
whatever you
That's
feel
what-
Also,
becomes
remember,
manifest.
there's desire. The people bringing the stuff in, they've got customers, they've got tables, and many of those tables in the Houses of the Parliament, and all the authorities. Never mind what there are,
What,
police.
they're telling me that not one single policeman in the UK touches that stuff,
There's
apart
plenty.
from when he's arresting the customer. Nonsense.
Many years ago, with a group we knew, as I said, we mixed heavily with these public schools. We were in a house 5 minutes away from Parliament, and they were debating the war on drugs. And two of the offspring, their parents were there debating this. They were MPs. And what were the kids doing? This is the first time I'd ever met a thing called blowback. You know, when you have the marijuana, and my brother and myself, we sat watching this. And across the road, their parents were talking about the war on drugs.
Have they checked the urine sample at the Houses of Parliament? What did they say about it?
No, it's just nonsense. It's an industry and it's
an industry.
catering for a market. And the day people are no longer interested, it falls away. That's what it does. But remember, this stuff was once legal.
Yes.
Remember,
They should put it in Coca-Cola.
it was everywhere.
Yeah.
You could get off the counter. And then suddenly it became, after all, the great detective Sherlock Holmes. What was his hobby? Those who have read Sherlock Holmes, didn't he like a bit of an injection here and there? And it wasn't multivitamins.
Yes.
No, so yeah. It was not
Aren't you excited?
possible. Do you recognise any of the motorbikes?
Isn't that a
Yes.
Norton, the one further?
That's the one in the back is a Triumph.
Yes.
When we were teenagers,
Yeah, Harley Davidson.
you used to pay people to go and screw off the
The plates.
the actual thing that said Triumph, because we were wannabe rockabillys, and the rockabillys would get that, and you'd make a belt. So when you were dancing, that's what. So before our mod days, when we were at school, we were wannabe rockabillys, where we couldn't afford anything but that belt. Yes, that belt. So yes.
I don't think the Triumph logo has changed either on those since
It's a
then.
beautiful logo. It's a
They're
beautiful
beautiful bikes
logo.
as well.
They're lovely bikes. I love the Harley Davidson. I like its look. I do like my.
They're obnoxiously loud, aren't they?
I do like.
That's
But
good.
my favourite, and I definitely would like to have a Vespa and Lambretta.
Yeah.
So could never afford them during our mod days, but they were so beautiful. And I can remember all the kids, the seniors who could, and those of us who couldn't, we'd always just stand around looking at them, and they'd come on this beautiful thing.
Come to think of it, I've never asked. Can you both drive?
No.
You can ride bikes. You don't
Bicycles,
have to
yeah.
change the gears.
Bicycles, yes, but not motorbikes. No, I can remember probably when we were at college. The last time we were at college was at Southwark College, and on our way home, we're talking about in the 90s. On our way home, this guy, something had happened, and his bike had fallen over. So we all ran to give him a hand. Oh my goodness!
This is near Stamford Street.
Stamford Street. As we tried to lift this thing, I thought, how
the
could
motorbike.
it was a motorbike.
Oh
I'm
my
thinking, goodness,
I mean, we weren't weaklings, but this thing, it wasn't light.
Yeah, heavy, yeah.
It was not a light thing at
They're
all.
heavy. I think my bike is 180 kilograms, one of them, and the other one is probably a little bit.
But you've got to admire the engineering. That's something like this thing. Oh my goodness.
It's the physics in gyro. Right?
Wow.
The gyro physics.
That's the
something,
metal
yeah.
thing we used to use as a belt.
So you put the belt, hook the belt around.
The leather,
yeah.
So the more brave people
And
would
also
go
once you
like-
get, and then you'd pay them, and then you would pay. You get somebody to also pay
Yes,
kids.
this disgraceful thing you do as a teenager, as a schoolboy in the 1970s. Somebody would steal it for you, turn it into a belt.
Beauty.
I can't imagine people with a BMW Mercedes belt in the car right now.
Yeah, the tribes. Yeah, no.
Speaking of club, I'm actually getting to relive a Gen Z moment. I'm going to a, it's not a basement music event, but it's going to be some kind of musical
Where
event.
in London,
there
central London?
in London somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's going to be novelist Flodan.
I don't know any of
He's a
this.
British.
Okay,
Flodan actually has a Grammy.
Okay.
And,
What is he? A rappers?
They're rappers.
A rapper. Okay, rapper.
We must
Excuse me, not a rapist, a rapper.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we must have-
But will your testicles be caressed by the security before you go in?
And you have to take your,
I hope not.
and you have to take your valuable
Your
passport.
passport and your birth certificate and the
Oh,
deed
really?
to your home to show who you are.
No, there may be some basic security, but we'll see.
How many are going?
So my friend who's coming in from Qatar, he's missed
Okay.
the British culture for the last year.
Really?
So he's now taking me through
They're
everything
all
on
missing
this.
it. You're not the only one. You're rowing across. You're not the only one.
not
missing
the only one,
British
the whole
culture.
world's
So he's
missing
messaged
it.
me and he's like, Shaj, we have to
not
go to
the
this.
only
So I
one.
told him, you know what, I have no desire for that. I feel tired to go to.
But how can you be going to that club? He's Miss Henley Regatta. You're talking about British culture. Your straw hat and your boating blazer.
Everyone wants it.
Come on,
That's
next
what
year
I
you've got to go to that. If you're in the country, you must go. Honestly, the Henley Regatta is something else.
I've been in it. As in, I was on a boat. It's the boats.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
the
bit.
book.
What, you're rowing for your
So
college?
me and my client.
When did you go? What year?
His birthday. It was last year. I think it
You're
was it
joking.
last year? It was last year. Or the year
Did you have a blazer?
Look at the seals looking at us.
I was dressed like I come fresh off a yacht. Now I knew nothing.
You're joking.
What's it called? The Henley.
The Henley Regatta.
The Henly Regatta.
That's it.
I knew nothing of it. So I'm on a boat, commandeered by a South African, right? And it's kind of like a small private boat.
Yeah, there are lots of them.
So we're going through, and all of a sudden, I start to see these beautiful, polished wooden boats, and
That's it.
people in blazers
That's
and straw
it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
That's
That's
the
the
Henley
Henley
Regatta.
Regatta.
stripes.
That's
That's
it. That's
Grand
the Henley
Central
Regatta.
We ended up in it, and
Yeah.
we saw the races happen next to
Oh
us.
my
We
God.
saw it from a boat.
Wow,
And we
that's
said to ourselves, we need to go to that one day.
that is a fun. As we say, the Henley Regatta, a grand social matter.
Delighted to tell
that
that
jet set looks swell. Pretty ladies just flying, drinking mostly their wine.
Wow, young gentlemen smoke and joke.
about it.
Wow, my goodness, you've been to Henley.
That is
Wow,
some-
Henley, we had such a lot.
That is one event.
That is one event.
That is the one event that is not being commercialized.
Yes, Henley Regatta
Regatta.
is absolutely stupendous.
Wow.
Henley, yeah.
It's crazy that you know about that.
Henley!
Not in London.
I know, of course, it's that. Remember, you cannot mix with public school guys and not know of the Henley Regatta.
The Henley Regatta, we'll
I told we'll go one day.
school, university, that's when you see the people 6
That's
foot
it. It's all the
8
rowing, it's all the
tall
rowing
Americans.
clubs. It's all the rowing schools come together, right?
Absolutely. And the tall South Africans and Americans.
Yeah.
This is us with a good colleague of ours. That's our,
Is that you there?
That's
That's
our
us.
very first
That's
trip
it.
to Henley.
And I see the stripes.
That's
This is our very first.
we're going in totally
Ignorant.
ignorant.
Yeah, 'cause you don't know what to.
We don't know what to wear.
So there's rowing, there's boat.
The rowing is the main
Rowing,
thing.
it's a rowing thing. It is.
But this one was really modern. It had a camera at the top that was flying along with it.
So yeah, so that's
Helicopter.
these are. So what happens? So when you get to Henley, get to Reading, at the top you've got what is known as the stewards' enclosure. They are the arbitrators of the of Henley Regatta.
yeah.
They're the ones who
The
run.
refs.
Okay, so. And the whole idea is to get into the stewards' enclosure.
enclosure.
However, there are rules.
Awesome.
You have to, as a man,
Blazer.
blazer.
Yes.
Blue blazer.
Tie is not compulsory, but
Okay,
blazer.
but no, tie is because when we went,
You sure that's not for the Leander? Yeah.
yeah, when we don't get it mixed up with the Leander, that's another club. When we were in there, I had a scarf around my neck, and I was walking through, and somebody came up to me and pulled my scarf
Yeah.
and said, "Oh, you're wearing a tie." Okay, and
Or you're the foreign crew.
we got away with that coat because they thought we were
You're
the foreign crew. And
meaning
that's
that you don't know the customs.
anyway, so that's how we got to. So we swore to ourselves that the next year we would turn up in a blazer. And what happened during the year, in between one regatta and another, we had a friend because we went back to school in sixth form. So we were 23. We went back to a normal secondary school, sixth form, and we met a young guy called Matthew Rose. And Matthew Rose was picked as a model. And he was photographed by Mario Testino. And Mario Testino, this was at the beginning of his career, so nobody knew of him. And he had a big photo shoot at Britannia Row on Essex Road. And we're running the bar at the time. And Matthew Rose said, "You know where this road is?" So we escorted him to this place. And when we got there, full of these beautiful
girls.
models,
Oh my
beautiful
God.
boys. The
You're
girls are
talking- this is
beautiful, the boys are
mid-1980s.
This is
I didn't notice.
mid-90s.
Absolutely, bro.
Anyway, so we're just about to leave, and obviously this guy who we married Testino, this was well before, he said, "Oh, can I take your picture?" And we said, "Well, we're in a hurry." Harry meant we had to go back to the bar.
Right.
He said, "Come back the next day."
Okay,
So we came back the next day,
day.
and we had tweed caps, and we just literally wore them backwards. He took these pictures of us, and he paid us £150 each.
Yeah.
Back then.
That's a
Back
kid.
Was this the 90s?
With
No,
80s.
80s. Mid-80s.
Good money.
85.
And you know
We
what?
had no idea who this married to. We didn't even know his name.
And we put this money in our pockets and went up. And we left Matthew there because he was doing the real shoot. What could we do with this money? We had a dinner jacket, dinner suit, mohair dinner suit made. Beautiful mohair with turned back cuffs.
Look at.
We studied, we loved our
How do
fashion.
we see the term of cars? We went to a friend, a good Jewish friend of ours, and he lived in Islington.
But he
But
rode.
he loved to do hunting.
So he went to Leicester, and there's a thing called the Corn. This was before they banned fox hunting. And he, at the bar, we had obviously those who were from traditional middle class families, upper middle class, and then we had the socialists. So there was a slight tension between them. And he always used to rib. He always used to rib the socialists by telling him about the fox hunting being on. But we went to see him at
And he
his
showed
house.
us his,
He showed us his grandfather's dinner suit. And we're having a look because Chet wanted, when you know when you have your dinner suit, you've got that satin finish.
Yes.
Chet told you this idea of having red or yellow.
We still want to be
Well,
different.
he always wanted to be different.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went to talk to this Jewish friend of ours. And when we say Jewish, he was at City of London, he was probably in the sixth form. And he showed us, he said, "This is my grandfather's dinner jacket." And we looked at it and he said, "No, cute to black.
Black, but only the
Because
military.
only the military have
Okay.
this red sash down." Anyway, we're looking at this tailor-made, probably about 60 years old. And then I'm looking at the cuff. And the cuff,
Literally.
you know how you have the satin on here? This cuff was like this. That's how the cuff was.
Turn back.
It was like this. So when you see some of these old-fashioned things, it's either known as a bishop's cuff or turn back. And this is what he had. This was satin. Oh my
And the
goodness.
buttons were so functional.
Functional buttons. So those of you, functional buttons
You
means
can undo the buttons.
you can undo the buttons. So they're known as functional buttons. Sometimes you see show-offs, they'll walk and they'll have one of them open. Anyone who sees that will know it's functional. Anyway, now we're going to digress slightly. For those of you who love clothes, why they had this in the old days?
It is claimed.
It is claimed the vet would go to see the farmer, and he'd have to do into the bowels of some animal. So the vet is in his suit. So the story goes he doesn't want his suit mucked up. So undo the buttons, he can roll the sleeves up. That's how this works. Anyway, let's go back. So we're at this young man's house. Rupert Isaacson is his name. Cool young man. So when he showed us this cup, we thought, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have ours made. And we went to Aldgate, to a good Jewish
There are
tailor.
so many tailors.
There
back
were
then.
lots of tailors, more tailors than there are now. And we spoke to this
Is
tailor.
that Green Street,
No,
No.
Aldgate.
Okay.
Aldgate.
Bengali areas?
Okay. And we showed it to, we told the tailor exactly what we want. We wanted it made of mohair. We wanted a single vent. We wanted the lapels not too wide, narrow. Okay. We wanted button flies. We wanted our legs narrow, 15 inches, no more. Not 14 inches, too skinny. You begin to look like a teddy boy. 15 inches. We wanted buttons because we wanted to wear braces. Then we went to P. Denny, Soho, catering shop. And that's where we got our wing collar
Right.
and the shirt to go with this.
And when you say wing collar, it means starched wing collar.
Starched.
Okay.
Not the collar attached to the shirt, no.
Yeah, okay.
Our father was very fashionable. You know, loved you wear his church's shoes, his Austin Reed handmade suits, his coats from Hepworth, all tailor-made. And my early memories of him were of him wrestling with these collars every morning, cursing these collars before going off to when he was at university.
Your
At least-
fingers need to be really clean because there you are wrestling to get this collar attached and you have to take care of that.
Collar separate to the shirt.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Separate to the
that's the
shirt.
proper one.
That's the proper
You see a
one.
lot of the illegal people, when you look at them,
Mm.
they're all separate. And when they take it off, you've just got this. If you look at Peaky Blinders, those of you who've been watching,
Okay,
they
okay.
wear a lot of the
A
collars.
great show for inspiration.
Anyway, so then we were looking at, you know you know what a cummerbund is? You sometimes when you see these old school guys,
Yeah.
it's like, well, my brother will get it up for those of you who don't know. Now remember, those of you who don't know about these clothing, this isn't ignorance. This is just, you don't,
No, you don't.
you just don't know. We didn't know about these things initially, so you learn. But the cummerbund, when you wear your dinner jacket, and the story goes it was for the guys with a big belly.
Oh, okay, that's silk.
That's
Belts.
it. So the whole idea, it kind of, bit like a woman's corset, it holds it in. Anyway, we had one of these.
Okay, chef.
So
This is the beauty about the beauty about the demon. You see it, guys?
Cummerbund.
Right, you see it, and you see how it's worn. Now, a lot of people will be polyester.
We had our
ours made out of silk.
We went to John Lewis, so we got material, and our mother, and we got the book.
Our magician mother.
Our magician mother, she was so good. So we got the book showing you how to make this thing, and bow tie. And our magician mother,
Mother.
she made this cummerbund for us, and she
Yes,
made this.
do it yourself.
Yes.
She made
old were
it
you
first.
Okay. I'm going to continue the story, and then I'll come back to how old we were and why we had to be in this. But let's continue the story, because if I digress, there'll be something. So our mother makes us this cummerbund for both of silk, and she makes us this
Bow ties.
silk bow tie. And then we went to Princess Arcade off Piccadilly, and they happened to be having a sale. And what did this sale have? Cufflinks. I'd never worn cufflinks.
It depends on, but I think it was
it's-
Burlington.
but it may have even been the
The
Burlington
Burlington
Arcade.
Arcade.
But these cufflinks had a
Yes, yes.
silhouette
Yes.
of who? I believe Winston Churchill.
They were fantastic.
Silhouette. So you had the cufflinks and you had the tie-pin. And we bought, I think we bought five. And one we made as a gift to somebody.
Another Jewish friend.
Anyway, when we wore, one more thing, our shoes. There's a shop called Hobbs, Hobbs. They do female shoes. They used to do men's.
They used to do men, believe it or not.
Men's in the 80s, they did men's shoes. And we had a very good friend called Debbie Mason. Debbie Mason worked at Elle. I think she was editor of Elle. Now, in the old days, in the 80s, we ran the bar. And I'll get a picture of the bar and I'll airdrop it to this and we can see. Now, at the bar was mainly for teenagers. And we started off with kids who were at Islington Green School. And then a year later, the bar went public school. The attendees were all attending these public schools around London. and it opened up. So it's mainly gym, but there were a few adults at the bar, and one of them used to visit was Debbie Mason. Debbie Mason had style, and just like here, you just see
this image. That's what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's it. That's an image, and so, that's an image of us at the bar. Okay.
Turn this so that you can have this straight. Check. You don't need it like that. Turn it the other way.
Well, let's get the image back.
Okay, let's get this image of the.
That's it there. That's it.
Zoom into it.
Okay, let's see. Oh, it's Tape Magazine. Okay.
Okay.
So that's an image. That's the bar. That's a typical bar meeting. That's probably at the end of the session because sometimes there'd be 20 to 30 middle class kids.
Okay.
All with their school bags and everything. So that's the bar.
Okay. That's
Anyway, so let's continue. And then, so we met Debbie Mason. She passed by, and we became good friends. So she was at L. There are a number of people we met who were seniors. Anyway, and here's another picture of the bar.
And that's another image of the bar.
Okay, and I'll show you one more image. It's not of the bar, but it's how we would dress at the bar. So that's Chet and myself. Now you ask our age, so we'd be probably in our early 20s. Okay, that's how we feel as we're walking across. Anyway, so we went to Hobbs. She got us a discount because she had a discount at Hobbs. So we picked up these beautiful pair.
Beautiful.
The only problem is that the branch we went to only had one pair. Couldn't get any other pair in London. So we had to go outside of London. So and I remember having to take a train to one of their London out of London branches. So these patent leather shoes, beautiful, or patent leather shoes, depending on the pronunciation you want. They were round toe. No winkle picker nonsense, no square, but beautiful round. Anyway, and I think it was the first time we would wear black socks. Because generally when we were mods, we wore white towels and stuff.
Socks.
So now we've got the foot up. Then we're to John Lewis. Also, we got ourselves braces, not silk braces like these, but braces, button braces. And I can remember walking out our council flat. We were on the second floor, Pitfield House, dressing for this ball and coming down. We were already known for being quite fashionable because we'd been mods and all our different eccentric forms of dress, as you can see.
Where did you get that blazer picture from?
Oh, I just put Islington Twins and it came up. And that's how we stepped. And our mother, I can remember our mother looking out the balcony, just really pleased. And where we were off to? We were off to our first college ball, the Queen's College Ball. Queen's College is a girls' private school in Harley Street. And how we happened to be there. At the bar, there were two Jewish girls called the Rathbone Sisters. And the senior one, the sixth one, was having a ball and they were allowed to invite people. So they invited us. But the only problem is that when they invited us, we had no gear. We didn't have a gear. So we said, we don't. And I said, you can hire one. We didn't want to hire. So obviously, a few months later, this little gig
There's
came
something
up.
always exciting about getting your outfit for a ball.
There's something.
But this was something special, and I can remember arriving at the bar, and also when we had our shoes, we had Blakeleys, because you know these days we don't make noise as we walk, but in those days we wore leather soles and we put Blakeleys, and you could hear us coming down the road. Anyway, and that's how we got to the bar. So we would have been probably about, the bar started around, that bar started 1981. So we would have been about 2021.
So what is the bar?
The bar.
Because it looked like just you were next to some.
That's exactly it. That's where it takes its
from.
name from, the bar.
So what do you do there?
So-
What is that?
The bar was situated in Highbury Islington, outside Highbury Islington.
Highbury Corner,
Highbury Corner. It's changed now. And the thing about the bar was a meeting place. Originally, we would meet our friends at Islington Green School, near the Angel, and we would walk down with them, stroll down to Highbury, and we would stand and we would talk. And then it became a gathering place. Oh, where shall we meet? Oh, you know that yellow. But initially, the bar, we didn't pay any attention. In fact, you were actually banned from sitting on that bar or leaning on it. So initially, it wasn't part.
Heidi, how are you? So initially, it wasn't part of the bar, and then it became, and that's where it got its
That's where
name.
you started your debates.
That's where all the debates, yeah, and honestly.
The term the Islington Twins started.
No, the Islington Twins came around the internet.
The internet.
When we were looking for an email address. Initially, we weren't known as the Islington Twins in those days.
Yeah.
We were known as, notice what we were called, what have you called your thing? Talk with the Twins.
The Twins.
The only thing is that the "the" should have a capital T. Okay, but that's what we were known as, the Twins. And we signed our names, the Twins. And when we were at school, we were not known as the Twins. I mean, not as the Twins, but as the Twins. But when we were mods, I was Twin Mod 2, he was Twin Mod 1, and we had a club called the North London Shades. This is before the bar. But unfortunately, people were interested in fighting, and I didn't like that idea at all. So we closed the North London Shades, and a year later the bar started, and the bar was what I wanted the club to be. A place where you could gather and just babble.
So is this a bit like Hyde Park Corner?
No, because that's all politics.
That is all.
That's all politics.
Have you ever thought to restart it, rekindle it?
The bar?
The times will change.
Times have changed, but that's exactly what we're doing here.
Yeah.
It's no different. The only difference
So
here
this is
is that
modern
this,
bar.
this
Okay.
started because we were
So-
outdoors. Make sure you're closer.
That's our first trip to Henley. That's how we're dressed.
I can't believe I ended up there by accident.
Okay, which we showed you earlier on.
Okay.
Okay,
And this
this was the next year.
is us the next
We're
year.
back.
This is us this is us the next year. You see the blazer?
All
Look at the blazer.
tailor-made.
Look at the
See the pinstripes?
Yes, you see.
tailor-made.
Yeah.
Look at the trousers. Tailor-made.
Yeah.
Look at the walking
The
cane.
walking cane, that's from James Smith and Son. That's a ladies'
That's
cane.
a ladies' cane. Our bills could not have.
We went for the men's, and the men's is
far
thick.
too thick.
I can imagine you both turned a lot of heads there.
Now
There's a lot of black men at the
No,
You
diversity,
only black men at the
nonsense.
bar.
There was
Okay.
there's no diversity.
The trousers bespoke. Yes,
So the trousers
wait,
The
yes.
blazer, yeah.
The blazer. Now look at that blazer. What material that do you think that is?
It's going to be linen.
We
No.
went to a Borovic in the West End.
And we bought curtain
Curtain
material.
material.
That's the only way to ensure that we would be different. Yes, so it's curtain material.
We bought three rows of curtain
curtain
In
material.
the 80s.
This
That's
was in the 80s.
mid-80s.
Yes, sir.
That's what people will be using to hang up their curtains.
Remember,
We did
the 80s was DIY.
Right, good.
You didn't have all these rules. No, if you wanted to be at Henley, whether you were black, pink, working class, if that was your interest, that's what you did.
Yeah.
You went there, irrespective of whether there was no such thing as minority.
After all, look at the picture down below. Look at all those bottles. Somebody's got yes.
So, we're not on Instagram, but on Instagram, somebody I think called Dylan Thomas, one of these fashion guys, he uploaded a picture of my brother and myself, and that friend you saw us with, and we're in a Beetle, you know a Beetle car? We arrived the year after in a Beetle convertible, and with this really cool. Let's say he wasn't an entrepreneur. I think he was a film guy. He was into film, and he had a Japanese
Girlfriend.
She took pictures of us.
Put that in your pocket, please.
She took pictures of us that was used for Paul Smith's first shop.
Sure.
Anyway, we said come to Henley, and they arrived. They drove us, and just as we got into Henley, we stood up. You know the way you stand up in your chariot,
Yeah.
and we stood up, and then later on, we're standing outside the main steward's enclosure, and somebody comes up to us. Can I have your name? We gave
That's
our
what they
name.
do. That's kind of ask your name.
They'd ask your name.
Tell
How
you
do
the
you-
publication.
and tell you that they said we're from Tatler. We gave our names. Anyway, the next few days later, this thing appeared in Tatler magazine. So our friends were calling us, Swizz, you know you're in Tatler magazine. And then it may have been a year later, there used to be an art critic called Brian Sewell, and he loved cars. He was very much into art, and he wrote an article on vintage cars. And what did the Evening Standard use? A big blow-up picture. So this time, whereas the Tatler picture was just a square, this one in the Standards, there's a big blow-up picture of us.
So these are what the 1980s
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it looks like. So,
Beta convertible. But that's how. So with the money, we got the dinner jacket,
Okay.
the dinner suit,
Yes.
two blazers, and the
blazers.
trousers.
Yeah.
And the walking stick.
The walking
Yeah,
stick.
the walking
Yeah,
stick.
yes.
One day we should all go back.
Yeah.
I wonder what it's like.
Jeez.
Is it like ticketed now? You
No, good. Now let me tell you.
get into
So it works like this. The Henley Regatta is a serious rowing event.
Yeah, that's why we say a grand social matter.
It really is about rowing.
Rowing.
Universities,
Public
Olympic,
schools.
all the big rowers go there, and all the public schools. Now, as a side dish, it's also a social affair. So you've got the Leander Club.
They
saw that. Saw
Okay,
that flags.
Yeah.
now notice pink.
pink,
Yeah,
they're
no,
pink
for pink.
soccer.
You need to be a member to get in there. Now, the steward's enclosure, you need to be a member to get in there. However, if you're a rowing guy, they give out,
They give out tickets. The tickets are beautiful.
their tickets are beautiful.
They really are beautiful.
So what we
Wear
really
your
do,
ticket.
Every day it's a different color.
different colour every day.
Yeah.
Then, so Leander,
The-
stewards,
the-
then going all the way down. Then as it gets further down, the more rough and tumble,
Okay.
you can just go in your jeans.
Jeez.
So what would we do? We'd arrive and we would stand, just as we're standing
Standing
here. So that tree represents the steward's enclosure, and we would be here, and we would just stand. And obviously, the photographers would come.
Remember, people are walking up and down.
Everyone's got a big
On the
camera.
grass behind, you've got vintage cars.
Yeah,
people
behind
having-
you is the grass.
Yes.
Lots of cars for their picnics, and then lots of those who are interested in rowing, the colleges, and then the school kids. Obviously, there were lots of our friends. So your friends would come, they'd give you tickets to get in, or strangers would. I'm going home. I'm finished for the day. Would, have you been to take my ticket?
Take my ticket.
And that's it. But it was a pose, as you can see, that Leo were posing. It was a, and that appeared in a magazine called Roots, the Roots Mag. But there were lots of pictures. In fact, dare I say his name? Well, I'm going to because I have
Whose name? Let's hear it first. Whisper in my ear.
Prince Andrew.
No,
Prince Andrew.
no, you may mention the photographer.
Okay. Anyway, there was a photographer. Okay, her name is Koo Stark. She had a name. So if you Google Koo Stark,
she's
any
a-
of you Google Koo Stark, you know how she became well known. Anyway, she took pictures, and she took a picture of my brother and myself, and it ended up in her book called Contrasts. And we learnt of this book because the Times Literary Supplement reviewed the book. And we're standing at the bar one day, and somebody came up and handed us the Times Literary Supplement. And they'd actually taken out the page, and it's a picture of my brother.
With that photograph.
And it's called Heavenly Twins. So she's
That's Koo Stark. And that is the book.
so I don't have the picture. We tried to
One
get
day,
it.
will we get a chance,
No.
we have to go back there.
But no, we have to.
Because me and my client discussed and said we need to be dressed for it. we didn't know. We kind of rode, on our boat. Do you drive a boat? The boat went into the area, and everyone came out in these £1 million boats.
Yeah, that's it.
And I forget what they're called.
Yes,
I forgot the name of the boat. But they're the back of the boat becomes level with the water.
It's a great, honestly. So next year,
it's wonderful. For me, it beats Wimbledon.
It beats Wimbledon. It beats Royal Ascot. It beats the Derby. Because the difference with that is that it's an intimate affair.
Yes.
It doesn't need the press.
But it doesn't exclude the public. Anyone can walk up and down. Anyone can pick us on the
We ended
ground.
up in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. Honestly, it's a and the rule, they've got there's no need. So the
It's so
girls,
funny. So
they're
the
not
girls-
allowed to wear anything.
Oh, no, the cleavage.
The cleavage, they don't fuss about, but
the
it's
cleavage.
below the knees.
So you get all these girls who've got these obviously short skirts, and then they tell you pull these things.
They don't allow women to be in trousers. There's no democracy
Yeah.
there. Hot pants, trousers. No, you have to
Mini
wear
skirt,
mini skirt. No.
That's
And they're so old-fashioned and they're cute to their. And the men have to wear a blazer.
I
And
must
a
get the
top
book.
The book is a mere £15, but it's currently unavailable. We'll start to write it sometime.
Yeah, it's a contrast. Yeah, so the picture.
Gentlemen, I guess we'll wrap up for this.
We have!
Man.
Amazing!
It's funny that.
A social blog! Amazing! Talking about ourselves! Goodness me, and next week you'll be coming back from work. Yeah, as we back to the old boring conference. Yeah, but
This is just a one-off. As we say, it's unscripted.
it's unscripted.
It's live and scripted.
Well, we talked about the football. We'll probably have to do that next week.
Yeah.
Anyway,
See how England does this week.
anyway, have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Thanks for coming to see us.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
Let's go.